behind such a horrible act.
Le monde t'a aidé nous pour nous finir avec question comme ça. Aller voyer des forces pour aller désarmer gangsters dans le pays qui mettent des populations en otage, qui permettent que aujourd'hui la population ne va pas vivre, femmes ne va pas vivre.
This kind of behavior is not enough to change my vision, to contribute to a positive development of this nation. It reinforces the reasons of what I'm doing, to do everything I can to have the most impact towards the people who need it most.
Now, to learn more about how they're helping the Haitian people, go to CNNHeroes.com. And while you're there, you can nominate someone you know who should be a CNN hero.
It is such a mysterious story still, what happened in the assassination there in Haiti.
Now, Matt Rivers is there doing some fantastic reporting. Still a lot of questions that we're trying to get answers to. The Lead with Jake Tapper starts right now.
There is no state in the United States where you can hide. The Lead starts right now. Every single state in the nation seeing a rise in COVID cases as the United States hits a fourth wave, largely because of the tens of millions of Americans who refuse to get vaccinated. And one of the biggest cities in the United States is now bringing back masks. Women and girls living in fear of a return to the dark, oppressive rule of the Taliban as the U.S. leaves Afghanistan. Will they lose their freedom, their chance at an education, even their lives? Plus, rivers exploding their banks, hundreds missing, dozens dead after the heaviest rainfall in a century in Europe. Welcome to The Lead. I'm Jake Tapper, and we begin today with the health lead and the pandemic of the unvaccinated. That's what the White House is calling the alarming rise of new COVID cases across the United States. That's right, for the first time in months, every single state in the U.S. is seeing a rise in new cases. The majority of the country shockingly red, as you see in that graph. Deaths, hospitalizations, they're also up from last week, and that's because the Delta variant is surging and not nearly enough Americans are vaccinated. The White House says that 4 states, Arkansas, Louisiana, Missouri, and Nevada, account for more than 40% of all the cases in the past week. The White House also says that 1 in 5 of all cases is in Florida. The Biden administration is blaming misinformation, not just on far-right TV channels. They're singling out social media, and specifically Facebook, for enabling misleading claims about vaccines to spread.
They're killing people. I mean, look, the only pandemic we have is among the unvaccinated. And they're killing people.
CNN's Erica Hill starts us off now with those alarming new COVID numbers.
Masks back on in Los Angeles County, where new cases are surging.
Anything is on the table, if things continue to get worse, which is why we want to take action now.
Starting Sunday, faces must be covered indoors, even if you're fully vaccinated. Nationwide, new infections are up 67% in the last week, rising in every state and D.C. for the first time since January.
The danger is, as more unvaccinated people get infected, and Delta is so contagious, it's really transmitting at a speed that I haven't seen since the very beginning.
Deaths up 26%, hospitalizations 36% in the last 7 days.
This is becoming a pandemic of the unvaccinated.
Vaccinations down 11% in the last week. Tennessee, one of the states with the lowest vaccination rates in the country, just 38%, saw new cases increase 84% in the last week. Florida accounts for 1 in 5 new cases in the U.S.
Our biggest concern is that we are going to continue to see preventable cases, hospitalizations, and sadly deaths among the unvaccinated.
As the administration beefs up outreach,
wear your mask and get your vaccine.
New questions about so-called breakthrough infections in fully vaccinated Americans. The Yankees forced to cancel Thursday's game after 6 players tested positive. NFL Network anchor Rich Eisen announcing he too tested positive, crediting the vaccine for sparing him from a far worse experience.
And reality is that no vaccine is 100% effective
Fortunately, these breakthrough cases are generally asymptomatic cases or mild cases. The vaccines do a tremendous job of protecting against severe infection and death.
A message Noelle Collier is also sharing after losing her unvaccinated mother.
I want people to understand that COVID is not gone. I'm fully vaccinated and I still got COVID, but I recovered. The vaccine is worth it.
Jake, the FDA confirming today that it is prioritizing its review of Pfizer's vaccine. In fact, the acting FDA commissioner even tweeting that this is among the agency's highest priorities. One official telling CNN that full FDA approval for that vaccine could come in the next 2 months. Jake?
All right, Eric DeHill, thanks so much. Let's bring in CNN senior data reporter Harry Anton right now. Harry, you wanted to find out if the people who are unvaccinated because they don't trust the vaccine, they don't trust science, were the same people who believe the big lie about the election, that it was stolen and that there was fraud. Are they the same?
Well, I mean, look, if you believe that Joe Biden won the election legitimately, more than 80% of those folks have been vaccinated. So that's a pretty clear correlation. If in fact you believe the opposite, which is that Joe Biden won the election only because of election fraud, only about a third of those folks have been vaccinated. So clearly what we're seeing is a correlation between your beliefs about the election and whether or not you've been vaccinated.
Okay, so there's an overlap, but it's not like just a circle. The Venn diagram is not just a circle, so where are the differences?
Yeah, this to me is so incredible. Only 51% of Americans believe, one, that Joe Biden won the election legitimately, and two, have received at least one dose of the vaccine. 45% of Americans either don't believe Biden won the election legitimately and or have gotten a first dose of the vaccine. So we're basically a 50-50 nation at this point, not just with our elections, but when it comes to conspiracy theories. That 51% versus 45%, one of the scariest statistics I've seen, and you know I look at stats all the time.
Yeah, you do. Is this surprising to you?
You know, no. If I'm being honest with you, it's not surprising to me. Why is that? It's because we know that Americans love to believe in conspiracy theories. There was a study back in 2012 that looked at a bunch of different conspiracy theories, and what it found was that 63% of Americans believed in at least one conspiracy theory. So the 45% who either haven't gotten the vaccine at this point and or believe that Biden only won because of election fraud tends to line up with it. Unfortunately, there are a lot of people out there who just don't want to believe the truth, and they're endangering a lot of us.
And those conspiracy theories that you're referring to, we're not talking about like something fun and you know, Bigfoot or the Loch Ness Monster. This is about whether like the United States government knew about 9/11 ahead of time, like really dark stuff.
That's exactly right. These are dark conspiracy theories. 9/11 believed that either the 04 or the 12 election were stolen. Believe something false about Barack Obama's upbringing, perhaps that he wasn't born in the United States. So we're talking about deep, dark stuff here. A lot of Americans believe this false information out there, and unfortunately, Jake, there are a lot of people peddling it, and people believe those people.
A lot of people on the internet, some people on other channels.
It's just terrible. I wish people would be much more honest with their viewers like you and I are being right now.
All right, Harry Anton, thanks so much for being here.
Thank you,
Always
sir.
good to see you. Let's discuss